Hi, my name is Mindy Henderson. I did my 1-hour workshop over Google Classroom, Google Slides, and Google Forms. My school has recently moved to one-to-one technology, and I wanted to help the 8th grade teachers who I presented this to use the online tools to enhance their learning and student engagement. So within Google Classroom, I showed them how they could create discussions. In Google Slides, I showed how they could promote collaboration, and Google Forms how they could assess their students' learning and gather data. The first component of the rubric that I want to talk about is the handouts. With the handouts, I had 3 guides for each of the different tools I talk about, notes page, and an agenda. The agenda is very detailed in giving the learning objectives, the materials needed, and a step-by-step guide of what we would be talking about, as well as a link to a website that we will talk about in a moment. For the online Google Forms, or for the handouts that I gave the same thing for different tools, so I'm only going to go over it through one, but it was a step-by-step with pictures of how to create a Google Forms, or how to create a discussion in Google Classroom, or how to create a Google Slides and share it with others. Along with this, there was a YouTube video. The goal of this is that they would be able to use this later in case they could not remember what we went over in the workshop, or if they fell behind during the workshop, all they had to look at is see what step aligned with what was on my screen. Along with this, I gave them a notes page that they could jot down any questions or thoughts. So after the handouts, we have our online instructional component. Now, all of this mentioned here is also within the Google Sites, the resources. This was really my guide throughout the presentation. The teachers had this link and had this up and were following along as I went. So it had our objectives and our agenda. The Google Classroom simply just tells them how to make their Google Classroom. All the teachers had already made this, so we really were able to just skip over this, but they were able to, this shows how to create an account. The Google discussions, the rest of these pages are created the same way. They have the same similar style in their content. So I'm only going to show you one. In this, there's a Google Slides that gives them a screencast similar to this video that shows them how to create whatever that we're talking about. So here it was a question within Google Classroom. So that gives them a video they can watch later, as well as the same document that I showed you previously, and also a YouTube video with further instructions. It's the same setup for Google Slides and Google Forms. For my next level tab, I wanted to provide some YouTube videos to help the teachers take these tools and go even beyond what we talked about today during the workshop. So it was advanced tips and tricks, how to use voiceovers or add-ons in Google Classroom, and the last one was the evaluation. So the next thing on the rubric is the additional elements. Within the additional elements, I had lesson plans, the agenda I previously showed you, the workshop flyer, and the workshop brochure. So the lesson plan was similar to the agenda in that it provided very detailed information with the standards, learning objectives, materials, what we were going to do, as well as assessment strategies. The 2 flyers that I used, the first one I sent out in an email to the teachers, and this is kind of what it looked like, and gave information about the workshop as well as the link to the website. I also gave a brochure that I put in their boxes in case they didn't see my email to encourage them to attend the workshop. For the workshop evaluation instrument, I used Google Forms. In the Google Forms, I just asked questions about the learning objectives and how they felt the time was used, and how if they were able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, as well as things to improve on, and whether they wanted to be a part of something similar in the future. Their results were put into a table, which looks like this. And then I analyzed those results in my narrative, which really gave a picture that I, for the most part, achieved my objectives, as we did run out of time. So 2 of the teachers out of the 6 were not able to begin the creating an assignment for their students, and that kind of put us a little bit behind, but overall 83% of the teachers felt that they were able to navigate the resources effectively. I also had a follow-up and implementation plan that just laid out that I hope to meet with the teachers one-on-one for about every 2 weeks to talk about how they could improve and how they're using it, and kind of give them further support along the way. Overall, this was a successful workshop, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.